everybody thinks that I need to, start my keto journey with panda massage meat, or I need to come in with like a crystal clean refrigerator, crystal clean pantry. There's absolutely no way that you could have any success on keto unless everything is perfect. Like, come in as a carnivore. But that's really just not true. Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are Two Crazy Ketos.
And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way every single time we get to talk with a friend, you'll be alerted to it.
It is time for another keto audit / interview.
And today we get to talk to Jackie.
I am so excited about this one. We've actually been talking to Jackie about having her come on our podcast for a few weeks now, but she wanted to wait because Jackie did more than 90 days of beef, butter, bacon, and egg.
More than 90 days.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about it. So without further ado, let's bring Jackie on.
Hello.
We're so excited that you're here, and the opportunity for people to hear the story of someone who's done the full 90 days. I've seen lots of people do 30 days. I've seen people do 2 weeks, 1 week, but I don't think that I've actually talked to someone who has done it for 90 days. Have you, Joe? No. So what made you decide to take on the full 90-day challenge?
I did a small baby step. I actually did a 44-day challenge. I had a cruise I was going to in June, and I wanted to get weight off fast. So I was like, well, what better way to do it than go super strict? And I dropped about 40 pounds. After that, it was like I went 2 weeks on keto for the cruise, and then jumped straight back into beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and did 95. And if it hadn't have been for Keto-palooza, probably would have just continued doing it.
Wow.
So
let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about what was life like before keto.
Weight up and down. I've been everywhere from 118 to 222 at the top known weight. I never jumped on a scale after that, so I'm sure actually was probably another 10 to 20 pounds higher. And I was a binge eater and hit it, and it was not pretty, and a lot of depression, and it's not fun.
So what do you think started your relationship with food as far as binging goes?
Growing up, my mom was a single mom, and she was amazing. She did everything she could. But there were still times when money was tight, and we would share a Happy Meal. She'd eat the fries because she's a vegetarian, and I would eat the burger. So I think it kind of stemmed from that, always having that worry that I never went hungry, but I guess knowing subconsciously that there could not be enough food, it just kind of snowballed. I
think that is something that a lot of people resonate with. And I really appreciate your vulnerability in talking about that because, a lot of times, people have a binge eating issue. I certainly did. Joe certainly did. However, we don't talk about what was the root of the situation? Where did it all begin? And where did it really reach, the height in your eating journey? Was it once you were a teenager, once you were an adult?
Probably after high school, because honestly, in high school, I ate whenever I was hungry. And a lot of times I would intermittent fast before I even knew what it was. So I would only eat once or twice a day. And then I actually got into a relationship with a guy, and his mom always was like, you don't eat enough. You need to start eating, you need to eat breakfast. You need to do this. And I'm like, I never wanted breakfast. So once I started doing that, and then you got carb creep because you're in high school. They've got vending machines and all kinds of crap that are in there. And the weight, I probably gained 30 pounds between my sophomore and my senior year.
So what brought you to keto? How did you discover this way of eating?
Unfortunately, Dr. Berg. So I actually found him. And then luckily about a month or two later, I dived into the research like constantly. I probably just researched keto for 3 months before I actually did it. I actually found Dr. Barry about a month or two after I started doing keto. So I was like, I'm going to get away from that guy and follow this guy. So, but yeah, once I started following Dr. Barry, the weight just fell off.
What kind of results did you have on keto before doing beef, butter, bacon, and egg?
Prior to COVID, I dropped 80 pounds.
Wow.
And I did dirty keto. I literally did hot dogs and peanut butter and honey. Like that's what I lived on 90% of the time, probably. So that's super dirty, super cheap.
That is a really good point to make, because everybody thinks that I need to, start my keto journey with panda massage meat, or I need to come in with like a crystal clean refrigerator, crystal clean pantry. There's absolutely no way that you could have any success on keto unless everything is perfect. Like come in as a carnivore. But that's really just not true. And I like the fact that people can understand every single step that you take is a movement forward.
That's right.
So you don't have to jump in and be perfect from the get-go. In fact, you're not going to be perfect. If you're thinking you're going to be perfect, like you're about to have a rude awakening, because we make mistakes. That's just a natural part of the human existence. And we need to kind of have some grace for ourselves. But you can have incredible results just letting go of some of the old foods that you had. What were some of the foods that you let go of as you picked up hot dogs?
The cookies, and my downfall was always cheesecake and brownies. That's always been my go-to. And then chips and salsa, one of my favorite things. And keep in mind, when I was doing this, both times I'm in a household, nobody follows it. So I am the only one. And in my last household, my mother-in-law was a diabetic. It was bad enough where she lost a toe and had all this weight. And I kept telling her, I'm like, you need to do this. People are curing their diabetes. And right now, the last I heard, she's got kidney failure.
Wow.
So it's knowing you can help somebody, and then they don't listen, can be really hard. So
it is.
What was it like to do keto in a household where nobody else was doing it with you?
Absolutely. How did you anchor your resolve? Like, what did you anchor your resolve to?
Stubbornness. I was just determined to do it. I started December 4th, so I literally went through all the holidays and no cheats. I've discovered that I'm a teetotaler. If I don't go all in, I'm not doing it.
That is incredible. And I hope that somebody out there that's super stubborn just hears Jackie's story and thinks to themselves, wow, I already am one step in the right direction. If you are stubborn, you're actually going to have probably more success. I think that somebody like me, who is really more of a, hey, I need to survey and get everybody in my life to vote on this before I can move forward, because I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want anyone to be displeased with me. That's actually a negative. for
Right.
you. You need to, especially for your own health journey, you need to be your biggest advocate. And you also have to be like a little bit ballsy, right? Like you have to decide, I'm doing this whether everyone is okay with this or not. So if you're stubborn, hear what Jackie's saying. Stubbornness actually helps you and helped her get through the holidays. I mean, the first year on keto and you did it through the holidays, like that is incredible.
I think that's something to be super proud about. And one of the things it seemed like when you said that you started keto like super dirty, having hot dogs and honey. The honey I would probably leave out, but I don't want you to be ashamed of that. There's nothing wrong with starting keto without having the cleanest foods because you did something that a lot of people never do, which is start.
Yeah.
But obviously you transitioned your, keto from eating hot dogs and other things to eating cleaner things. Get into a little bit of how that happened. Like, what was that like as you started changing up the foods that you were eating on keto?
Honestly, for the whole time, I did it until the pandemic hit. I was kind of more if it fits your macros. So, I mean, I stuck with a lot of just meats, processed, deli meats and bologna and hot dogs and burgers and anything that was cheap and easy and took 5 minutes to make. That's how I did it. I didn't get super strict into it until my Keto 2.0.
So you keep bringing up the pandemic. Was there something that happened when the pandemic came around?
Yeah, everybody's else's jobs quit. Mine shut down for 2 weeks. We went back and we went to 7 days a week doing 12-hour shifts. So I was literally living out of the vending machines at work.
Wow.
I gained 80 pounds in 8 months.
Wow, that is incredible. Yeah, like you have to make it work. That's like huge life change. The whole world is changing. And your response to that has to be almost like just survival. Like I'm just trying to survive right now. And then I will get back to the direction I want to head to once I am able to take a breath. And I think a lot of people go through seasons of their life where they have to be in survival mode for one reason or another. But after the pandemic was over and things got a little bit more calmer, what made you go back to it?
My depression got really bad. I've dealt with that off and on since high school. And I didn't want to get out of bed, didn't want to talk to anybody. I would literally go to work, come home, go to sleep, and eat out of the vending machine. I lived on honey buns and muffins. So I got to that point and I was like, nope, I can't. And jumped straight back into keto and haven't looked back since.
Wow, that is incredible. And I love what you said about how as you were transitioning to other foods, extending like what else can I make work on keto, it still was about convenience. It was about keeping it reasonable, keeping it where the family budget didn't have to like get thrown out the window in order for you to propel your health goals. It still needed to be something that didn't take like 12 hours to make. You still have to work. You're raising a family. There's no way that you're like, okay, after a long day of work, I've got, 4 hours of energy left to make some big elaborate meal. So the fact that you can use lunch meat and you can use some grab and go items, keto doesn't have to take all day, and a lot of times we see, Instagram posts and YouTube videos where it's like very big elaborate recipes. And sometimes we wrongly believe that that's the only way that you can make keto work. But it's nice to hear somebody talking about how, hey, I needed it to be convenient. I needed it to be reasonable and priced. I needed to be something that I could, just grab and go.
It's funny you're bringing up reasonably priced and convenient. And so Jackie, you had Keto 2.0 and you go into beef, butter, bacon, egg. Did you find beef, butter, bacon, and egg to be easy and convenient and have grab and go. Because I think a lot of people hear beef, butter, bacon, egg. And if you don't know what beef, butter, bacon, egg is, it's basically a challenge that Dr. Barry started. We've done several times. We brought it into YouTube last year. And it's where you eat nothing but beef, being ruminant animals, butter, bacon, and eggs for 30, 60, or 90 days. But a lot of people feel like it's not easy. It's not convenient. You can't eat beef, butter, bacon, egg when you're on the road or if you're traveling or
It's
if you have a work schedule.
expensive.
It's too expensive. Did you find that to be the case?
I found it to be the easiest I've ever eaten. Wow. I mean, it takes 30 minutes to make some bacon and eggs. I mean, because I do it on my skillet and I always do at least 2 or 3 pounds, so it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, get some frozen patties that cost $20 at Costco and toss them on the grill outside, or have a steak already thawed out and ready to go. I mean, most of my meals, less than 30 minutes to make, because I don't get home till 5:15, and I have made it a point try not to eat past 8 p.m. now. So I only have a 2-hour window to eat. And if I don't eat at work, then I don't eat until the next day. So
what did you do at work on beef, butter, bacon, egg? Because in the past you were living at a vending machine. So how did you make beef, butter, bacon, and egg work?
I actually have made it a point to be able to make over easy eggs in the microwave. I've gotten pretty talented at that. But I would either fast or I would make a couple of steaks, and I'd eat one for dinner and then take one for lunch. And I would always underdo it. That way I could toss it in the microwave for 45 seconds and it would be perfectly warm, but still medium rare like it should be. And then I would take hard-boiled eggs sometimes, or just do ground beef and bacon, or just do scrambled eggs. I mean, there's tons of stuff you can do.
So you're saying beef, butter, bacon, egg is possible no matter what your schedule's like?
Yes. Like I said, honestly, if it wasn't for having to cook for my family, I probably would have sticked on it. And then because we had Keto Palooza and I wanted to try things.
I totally understood that, because I was holding on for that last day too. I was very, very excited that we were, going to be able to break our Triple B&E challenge. And so was Joe. I mean, he was crying, like thinking, when are we supposed to go out to Brazilian Steakhouse? I hope it is like after the Triple B&E is up. So we totally hear you there. But I love what you're saying, which is if you want it bad enough, you'll make it work. Like you will get good at things. And I'm somebody that is not a classically trained chef. I'm not somebody that was very good at even cooking for myself. And you get creative if you want to make it work. I find that if I want to get movement in, if I want to, if I have a goal of any kind for myself, I will get it in. I will make it work if it is at the point in my life where this is very important to me. I will make it work if it is important to me.
So what were your final results on beef, butter, bacon, egg? 95 days, you said, right?
I did 95 days and I wrote it down because I would forget. So on the 44-day challenge, I lost 16.8. And on the 95 days, I lost 26.9.
Wow. Oh my gracious.
Now, more importantly than the pounds, because, we hear people talk about like, I didn't really lose any weight on beef, butter, bacon, egg, but my measurements changed. Where were your measurements?
I forgot to write that down, but it was over 30 inches.
Wow. That is incredible. And how did that translate into like sizes? Did you go down a size in your clothing?
In the 6 months, I went from a tight 18, and I'm fitting into a 12 now.
Okay, so 6 months. 6 months of a dedicated effort to, change what's going on in your life, be super strict with yourself. But now looking back, 6 months, does it seem that long? I mean, so much has changed now.
No, not really. I did my keto restart on March 28th. And then I jumped into Triple B&E on April 21st. And so I went from 220 at my restart, and I think I was 174.2, I think, on Sunday when I weighed in.
Wow. That is so encouraging.
That's encouraging.
I mean, people want to know, okay, can I have results in something? If I'm going to, invest my time, invest my energy, can I expect to have good results? Well, here's Jackie. Within this year, that's a major change.
Yeah.
1 year, not 10 years, 1 year. Within the year, you're done by Christmas. You're ready to do something, whatever you want to do. You can continue moving forward in this same way. You can reincorporate some other ingredients if that's how you choose, but you can have some major results within a single year.
Now, it couldn't have all been a bed of roses. What was the biggest struggle you had on beef, butter, bacon, and egg?
My first week, I had a week of migraines. Even though I was already lower carb, apparently I was not super low because my migraine, I probably was in bed all week. And the cravings didn't go away till about 3 weeks in. And like I said, nobody else in my house. I've got a diabetic boyfriend and a now 13-year-old, and they always want cookies and bring all this crap into the house. And even if I don't buy it, it somehow makes its way from grandma's house over to our house. So, and honestly, like the last 2 days, but like I really wanted cereal. So, I mean, the cravings aren't all gone, but they are 90% better. If I wasn't doing my weekly check-in on YouTube, I probably would have given into the cereal. So I'm really kind of glad I started that, because that could have, my last backslide ended up in a 1.5 year backslide and gained 80 pounds. So you just have to find a way to keep yourself motivated.
I love the fact that you brought up YouTube because people ask us all the time, like, what motivates us? And that's you guys. Like, I seriously, there's not very often where I say to myself, like, I'm just going to go off the rails or I'm going to have something not keto, but I'd be lying if I said it never occurred to me when I see something, be like, that would be kind of interesting. And I know that I could get right back on track if I had it. Mm-hmm. And then there's a little piece of me in the back of my head that goes, you're going to have to tell your subscribers about this.
Yeah.
And it stops me. And you got to find whatever it takes to keep you accountable. So I love the fact that you started doing these check-ins. And one of the things that you really have been, I don't know, like standing on the rooftop shouting about is a countdown to the keto cruise. Why is that so important to you?
Bikini.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. That's a great thing.
Sometimes it's the simple things.
Yeah. I mean, but that is a realistic, that's a tangible goal. That is a goal where I can see if there's progress. A lot of times we're just looking at the scale, or we have kind of arbitrary goals that are not tangible. Even on the scale, if I'm looking for a particular weight, it's like, I can't catch it. It's just a number. But being able to wear a certain, article of clothing and feel good about yourself in it, that's something that I can run with. That's a real goal. I will know when I have arrived, because I think that if people only measure their success on the scale, I hate to say it, but even when you find that number, if you get to that magic number that you've pulled out of the sky is like the number for you, it's not going to feel the way you think it's going to feel, because it's just a number. At the end of the day, it's just a number. You have to anchor that to something that's actually tangible. And I love that all the while you're doing this, you're talking about checking in and having accountability. Could you share your YouTube channel? What's the name of that? Where could people find you?
It's Jackie's Jinxed Journey. It's a tongue tire, so I apologize. But my weight has gone up and down so much, I'm like, I've got to be cursed. So to break that curse, I made the channel.
Oh, I love that so much. I also wanted to ask you, since you had brought up having the migraines, having like the cravings, having like moments of vulnerability as you got started on Triple B&E, what did you do in the moment? how were you able to kind of swat those cravings and not just give in to the feelings that you were having? You know, when you're having a bunch of migraines and you're like, I just want some comfort. I just want this to end. I want the cravings to end. And I'm in an emotionally vulnerable moment. How did you still pass on the other foods that were being brought into the house?
Honestly, just motivation and knowing that if I didn't keep to it, that the migraines are just going to get worse and they're going to keep coming. Because off of keto, I have migraines 3 to 5 times a week. On keto, I have them maybe 3 times a month. And on Triple B&E, I had them maybe once a month.
Wow.
So
Wow.
what was it like when you went off of Triple B&E? Did the migraines come back?
I have had a few migraines since I've gotten back. And as a warning, if you did what I did and don't slowly introduce, I gained almost 9 pounds getting off of Triple B&E. So my weight in the past week or two is just now starting to come back down. So you're going to have to deal with the inflammation. And with the inflammation came the migraines.
That's an important thing to note, because it's not just about like getting the opportunity to reincorporate ingredients. Like, that's neat. It's good to feel like, okay, I don't have to just eat these things. I get to incorporate other stuff. But with that other stuff comes other stuff. It comes inflammation.
That should be a podcast.
Right. I think so too. And you're reincorporating, you're bringing that back in. What you worked out, you're bringing back in. And I think it's powerful what you shared, which basically kind of tells us you knew to keep pushing forward, because the alternative was to go back to square one and you'd have to start that momentum again. And you'd have to like go through, the difficult first days and weeks of starting Triple B&E. If I stop now, then I got to go roll back to zero. And so you were like, it's better to just keep pressing forward. So that's an important thing to note. A lot of people, us included, once you reincorporate things, you're going to start to feel the inflammation. And it may not be as dramatic as what Jackie's experiencing with migraines, but you're certainly going to have some water weight issues. You probably are going to have some like pain in your joints that you had forgot about. Here they come again, as you reincorporate stuff. So just, prepare for that. Now, how have you been able to see that inflammation go down again?
It's just slowly worked down. I'm pretty sure cheese is the culprit. So I'm trying to only have cheese a couple times a week, and it's seemed to help. And I haven't added anything non-keto back in. Like, the only thing I've added back in is other meats, sweet peppers, onions, and I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I've had bologna. For some reason, I've been craving garlic bologna this week. But I haven't added a bunch of keto treats. Like, I've had a couple of Perfect Keto's mallow bar crispy treat things. But that's honestly the worst thing I've had since getting off Triple B&E.
Was there anything that you were like, I cannot wait to have this? And then once you got to have it, you're like, that wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Cheese on my burger was like, really? This is what I missed?
Right.
And I really did miss my skillet pizza, and that was as good as I remembered. So that was a plus. There was a few like little odds and ends. Like, I missed chicken wings just because I missed chicken wings. And then I had some from a local restaurant, and I had a migraine for 2 days, and I'm like, well, we're not doing that again.
Right.
So I'll make them at home from now on.
Yeah, those seed oils when we separate ourselves from for a while, when you reintroduce them, especially in high quantities, like in something that's fried in them, not just like, a touch of an ingredient inside of an ingredient, but when you have something that's like fried in those seed oils, and you haven't had it for a while, and all of a sudden it hits you, and it's like, whoa, what is that? And I discovered that when we started eating wings from our local grocery store. And I started noticing every time I have these, I feel like garbage for 3 days. And then we're like, oh, they're frying them in soybean oil. That makes sense. And as soon as we stopped, it went away.
We've got one local place that does them in the oven, so I can get them from there. This place that we just had does them. I emailed them and asked them what oil they use. They haven't answered me back. So,
yeah,
I like that proactive.
That's a great idea.
Stance, though, to be like, we can contact people and find out. Like, I'm interested to know what you're frying.
Yeah, people ask us all the time, like, why do you guys do Buffalo Wild Wings? Because they fry their wings in beef tallow, and that's like a rare thing.
Yeah.
You know. So one of the things we like to do on our audits is find something that you might be struggling with and maybe help coach you through that a little bit. So is there something on your keto journey or whatever type of beef, butter, bacon, egg journey that you're currently on that you're struggling with that you could use some help with?
I mean, my biggest obstacle is just family telling me I'm going to die from a heart attack. But other than that, like I said, my family's not really on keto, but they will eat sometimes what I make. But I'm getting ready to do a 2-week stint of a modified lion diet with another YouTuber. We're getting together and doing a small challenge. So I got to figure out how to feed the family and go even stricter. So that's going to be a struggle.
That is incredible. First of all, that you continue to see, like, how else can I challenge myself? What else can I do? And I think that is so exciting. But I like what you're saying about, hey, how do I continue to press forward when I feel like I'm still sort of alone? I'm kind of alone within my home, and recognizing, okay, the support for doing this, the cheering section, like, ultimately your family and your friends, they're cheering for your overall health. But the steps that we take to achieve that health, there's some debate. There's where the debate is, because people are like, well, I would love if you could just find a magic wand and achieve these results and not have to go this route. So I think that one of the things that I've noticed about you is you reach other people in the keto community. You're very intentional about reaching out to other people, starting friendships, starting those conversations. Have you found that you get support outside of the keto community that fills that sort of gap that you're not getting within your family?
I mean, the most support I get is probably through the 2KK community. And you guys probably saw me. I went from nothing to a whirlwind in your group, because, I mean, I'm a Gemini, so I'm a little intense. I'm like, I want to be the center of attention, but I want to be like a fly on the wall. So I go back and forth, and I just, to keep myself motivated, like, I have to go all in, and I have to be intense about it, and I have to keep myself occupied. If I don't keep myself occupied, I get bored, and then I fall off. So I have to keep it interesting.
I think that is so important, because you know this about yourself. You know, a lot of times we collect all of this data about ourselves and we don't do anything with it. It's like, I know that if I don't stay in community, I will fall off the wagon. I will lose momentum. I will lose enthusiasm for it. Okay, now that I know that, I'm going to go isolate myself. Well, that's not helpful at all. And, you know, thanks to the time of COVID, I mean, if there's anything good that's come out of it, it's been that we have to make socializing work, even if that means we have to do it through a computer screen, or we have to do it through a tablet, or we have to do it through, you know, a Zoom or a phone call or something like that. And I'm starting to see more and more people kind of like up the ante as far as making socialization work. So some of the people, even within the 2KK community, have talked about, hey, I really would love to be able to go out to coffee with a keto friend. I don't have any in my local, neighborhood. So I'm going to take my Zoom to my local coffee shop, and I'm going to find somebody else that is even in another state. And we're going to Zoom and have coffee together. And we're kind of face to face. Like, I can see you right now in your beautiful face and your, gorgeous eyes. Like, oh my gosh, Jackie's eyes are like dazzling, right? I thought Joe had blue eyes till I met Jackie. Jackie's got the bluest eyes ever. She wins. But we have to make it work. And if that is what is going to make you have success, then it's worth it. We're going to get creative. And you've proven already that you're going to get creative. If it means that you're going to get really good at microwaving those eggs, if it means that, hey, I'm going to reach you through a YouTube channel, like in order for me to have accountability, I'm going to have to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to have to like post what's going on in my life, because I know that if I do this in isolation, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to go south on this. So I think that you're already doing the things that you need to ensure that you have continued success. And I think it's just a matter of continuing to get creative of, how to reach out to people.
My boyfriend doesn't even know I'm doing a YouTube channel. So, I'm
He's
kind of
about
doing
to.
a little, right? You just got to find that community, because there's a few people here in Indiana. We're all talking about getting together. So I'm hoping to find a couple more people. Just to go have lunch or something. And then Jen Delaney had an awesome idea. She's like, I want people to get a hold of me, and I just want to do like a morning coffee through Facebook Messenger. I'm like, that's an awesome idea.
It is a beautiful thing. And, I think it's easier for us to answer the call of somebody else that's needing help. Sometimes if you feel like, okay, I know I need this, I know that this will make me more successful, but if it's just for me, then I feel like I can just power through it. I just need to put my big girl pants on and just like keep eating that steak, But if I feel like somebody else is going to benefit from me putting in this time and this energy and being like super intentional and like scheduling Zoom chats or scheduling a time on Instant Messenger, if they need it, then I'll do it. Then I'll make it, important to me. So I love the fact that it's not just you that's saying, okay, I know that this is something that's beneficial to me, but other people also standing up and saying, I think I could use that too. And then answering that call, saying, okay, if all I do today is just answer the call, somebody says they need an accountability partner, I'm going to answer that call. Or somebody says, hey, I'm willing to get up and go out to eat, and I live in Indiana. Okay, I'm going to answer that call. I'm going to, arrange my schedule in such a way that I can try to make it to the meetup. I'm not going to wait until the next conference season, because man, the next conference is, you're talking like February, April. I don't want to wait that long.
Right.
In a couple of months, I could really derail myself if community is what I need to stick to this. Yeah. I can't wait.
So Jackie, whenever we do an interview with somebody, we always like to ask 3 questions before you let you go. So I wanted to ask you these questions. And the first one is, when you first got started on keto, what was your biggest fear?
Failing, like every other time. And eventually, because like I said, COVID, I did fail, but I came back with a vengeance. So.
Yes, you did. Oh my goodness. Yes, you did. Because and that's all the difference in the world, because how you got back up is so different than the past failures. I feel like that, that's my story as well, that it's like I failed so many times, but this last time when I got back up, we got back up, and it's changed my entire life, and hopefully is a blessing to other people as well. And I feel like the same thing about you. Even just seeing you interact with people, I loved just seeing you at Ketopalooza and just all of the friending. And you were serving everybody. You were amazing. You were on like the staff that was just like helping people get connected, feel like they belong, feel engaged in that place. So it was like, okay, yeah, you're getting back up story. This one, it's completely different than my getting up in the past. And I think that that's incredible.
And it's okay to fail. So
Yeah.
long as you do something with it. You know, when my kids were growing up, I always told them you could make as many mistakes as you want. Just don't keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. Because if you make the same mistake over and over and over again, it means you're not learning from your mistakes. But it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fail. So long as we recognize, hey, I didn't do it right this time, but I'm going to go retry it a different way.
So our next question is, once you started keto, what were you most surprised about?
The migraine relief. I've had migraines probably since I was like 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had them all my life. And between starting a period at the same time when I was 9 and having migraines, like I would miss 1 or 2 days of school a month from all the problems that came with that. So that alone, that and the plantar fasciitis is enough to stick with it. Because I literally would stand for 10 minutes and almost be in tears because my feet hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was definitely the case for me. Oh my gracious. Like that was no joke. I was like constantly getting shots in my heel. It would not last very long. And so, I mean, just to have the relief, just to be able to stand, to walk and not be in constant pain, feeling like there was a knife going through your heel, like just constantly.
I was stubborn and I never went to the doctor for it. So I suffered with that for about a year and a half.
Oh my gracious.
So our last question that we always like to ask people, Jackie, is when you meet somebody who's just getting ready to get started or thinking about getting started on keto, what is your number one suggestion to them? Keep
it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't bring in all the keto products or find 1 or 2 like keto chow or keto brick or something to, satisfy your sweet craving, and don't add all the other crap in. Just stick with simple meat and veggies if you want, and your couple little weirdo fruits that everybody seems to like. And I've never liked fruit. So just keep it simple and find community.
Oh, that's so good. And that's very important because one of the things we learned from Triple B&E was, when you're eliminating a bunch of ingredients, you get more of a clear answer as to what works for you. But if you come into keto and you do cloud the issue with just a ton of stuff, you're like, I don't know what's happening. Are my electrolytes right? Am I very sensitive to this sugar alcohol? Is it because I'm having almond flour? Like, is it too much cheese? I don't know. The more things you bring into, a new way of eating, the more confusing it can be. So keeping it simple, I think, is really fantastic advice.
Yeah. Jackie, thank you so much for joining us. We loved hearing your story, and I know your story is going to impact so many people. We're super proud of you and feel blessed to have you as part of the Two Crazy Ketos community. I love just watching you go into the group and inspiring people and motivating people. And I love how excited you are for that keto cruise, because I can tell you, Rachel is super nervous to go on the keto cruise. But she's excited to hang out with you.
I feel more calm because I know Jackie's there and she's kind of a cruise expert. And so I know that Jackie wouldn't be going on this if it wasn't going to be fun. And I'm not going to just be, tossed around by the waves and throwing up all the time. That's my chief worry. And I know that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I'm excited because the sloths and scuba diving or snorkeling is what I'm looking forward to the most.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's going to be awesome.
So that is going to be the end of today's Keto Audit with Jackie, and also a great place to end today's podcast. And I do want to just remind everybody, if you're brand new, make sure you head down below, subscribe or follow our channel. We upload new podcasts every Tuesday and Friday. And until next time, I'm Joe.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are
the Two Crazy Ketos.